CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV. Welcome to CBT News with Shyann Malone.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CBT News. I'm Shyann Malone. Thanks so much for joining us. On today's show, we are joined by Mark Scheinberg, president of the Greater New York Automobile Dealers Association. But first, here's a look at today's top automotive industry stories.
Tesla's profits dropped 40% in the fourth quarter, worse than anticipated, and against a 3.5% increase in revenue. During the October through December period, the EV maker earned more than $25 billion, bringing its total annual revenue to $96.77 billion, up 19% year over year. However, due to aggressive price cutting, the company's margins declined roughly 23% over the course of 2023. During Tesla's quarterly earnings call, company CEO Elon Musk expressed optimism for the next 12 months, but declined to predict if profit margins would fall again in 2024, commenting, quote, "We don't have a crystal ball," end quote. Automakers Ford and Hyundai have their own financial updates to share. Ford revealed its Q4 profits would take a $1.3 billion hit due to a pre-tax remeasurement loss stemming from worker retirement benefits and lower discount rates. The Detroit company has yet to publish its earnings, but did report a 0.8% sales gain in the last months of 2023. Hyundai, on the other hand, had more positive news for shareholders. The South Korean automaker generated roughly $1.65 billion in net income over the fourth quarter, up 31% from the prior year period. Although analysts had expected it to earn an additional $500 million, the company maintained its optimism for 2024, forecasting a 4 to 5% increase in annual revenue. The United Auto Workers Union has endorsed President Joe Biden for a second term following months of refusal to side with a 2024 candidate. During the announcement, UAW President Shyann reiterated the organization's goal of giving power back to the working class before criticizing former president and current GOP frontrunner Donald Trump, saying, quote, "Donald Trump is a scab. Donald Trump is a billionaire, and that's who he represents," end quote. Noting that the choice between the two candidates was clear, Fain then proceeded to endorse Biden for the upcoming presidential election, saying, quote, "We need to know who's going to sit in the most powerful seat in the world and help us win a united working class. So if our endorsement must be earned, Joe Biden has earned it," end quote. Sonic Automotive has shuttered all Northwest Motorsports locations, laying off 142 employees across several states. In a post on its website, the 28-year-old used car dealership attributed the closure to a, quote, "thoughtful consideration and evaluation of today's pre-owned vehicle market conditions." The move comes just days after online used car retailer Vroom also shut down its auto sales business. Sonic Automotive acquired 11 Northwest Motorsports stores in 2021, but closed 3 last year as part of its decision to downsize its EchoPark business.
Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we have Greater New York Automobile Dealers Association President Mark Scheinberg. He's here to discuss the latest trends, challenges, and goals for New York auto dealers in 2024. We'll be right back with that.
CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV.
So now here we are, fast forward to 2024. There's some concerns out there. I'm sure you're hearing some of them, that maybe since October or November of last year, things have kind of come down a little bit, and there aren't as many people, wanting cars, and that's a concern. Talk to us about that. Are you hearing that from your members as well? And then what do you feel 2024 will bring?
Well, we're definitely seeing an increase in the amount of vehicles on the lots, so they're staying there a lot more. It was nice for a while when they didn't have any floor plan at all, so it seemed like it was good on it. But I think what's the dealers are adjusting to is the idea that they can deliver a car almost immediately to a customer on it.
Yeah.
So the sales have sort of leveled off a little bit. People who didn't want to get into mass transit during COVID and were first-time buyers, especially the younger buyers that were out there that never thought about buying a car, all of a sudden really enjoyed the idea of taking a look at cars and owning one.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to really be really beneficial as it goes along. So I think, car sales have slowed a little bit, but the demand is still very, very high.
Yeah. What can you tell us about your association's agenda for this 2024, for this year?
Well, the legislature just started for us here in New York, so it went off really quickly after the State of the State address by the governor, who we were very happy to notice what was not in her State of the State, and that was direct sales, which it was the year before, which we had to fight really hard to kind of derail, which we did.
Yeah.
Along with really, really great allies, manufacturers associations, labor groups here in New York, which are extremely powerful, were on our side about opposing direct sales. So this year, I think they're still licking their wounds and saying, okay, we're not going to push that agenda so directly, though there is some legislation that's out there right now that if New York State doesn't meet the goals of electrification by the certain thresholds through certain years, that they'll allow up to 10 stores to be opened by a direct manufacturer.
Wow, putting a little threat on you there, huh?
Yeah, it's punishing the dealers. It's that's the people that are going to get hurt are the dealers on this. But we have already spoken to our allies on this thing, and we don't think that bill is going to go anyplace on it.
Yeah.
But you can, there's still that agenda that's out there that of the Teslas and the Rivians and the Lucids and others that want to be able to do direct sales. And in New York, we believe the best answer for meeting the thresholds that have been set for electrification is through franchise new car dealers.
And be sure to watch the full-length interview right here at cbtnews.com. Well, that does wrap up our show for today, but we do invite you right back here tomorrow morning on cbtnews.com. Remember, you can stay up to date with the most recent news and trends influencing the retail automotive industry by following us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm Shyann Malone. Thanks so much for watching. You have a good one.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content. CBT News is expanding its reach like never before and is launching in over 70 million broadcasting households. Whether you have Roku, Apple TV, or a mobile device running on Android or iOS, you can now enjoy our engaging, in-depth interviews with dealers, automakers, trade associations, best-selling authors, motivational speakers, and so much more, whenever and wherever you are. Simply search CBT News in the App Store of your smart TV